and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Avitarus, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the Black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@KBLA1580.com. That's advertising@KBLA1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got your Black.
KBLA Talk 1580. Love that song. That's the Nigerian artist Rima with Selena Gomez. And it's just another example, I think, Miles, of the way Afrobeats has just taken hold in 2022, 23, and 24. It seems like every artist, every mainstream R&B artist now has an Afrobeats collaboration. And I think this one was one of the biggest ones. That song right there, Calm Down.
Yeah, that was is, and that's not to say was. That is one of the biggest songs in the world right now still. World better catch up. The world better get some of that good feeling in their music.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, you know, for those of us who are chronologically gifted, as Tavis always says, you may remember Fela Kuti and how he brought Afrobeats to the world stage, or the way some of the Latin artists, especially those from Cuba with their African roots, brought Afrobeats more strongly into jazz, into and into salsa, right? Which the real name for salsa is Afro-Cuban music.
Right.
Salsa is the, de-blacked term. But that was a while ago. And so to see this bubbling up on the world stage in pop right now is really fun, with artists like Burna Boy and others. Do you feel like, as a result of our trip to Zanzibar and Kenya, Tanzania and Kenya, we just got back a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Do you feel, did it change any of the way you're hearing the Afro beats, or the way you're perceiving that those collaborations, or that sort of influence on our music right now?
I understand it more from their perspective on the African continent. It's a different rhythm than what we're programmed to be listening to. That's it. We're a more 808 head nod kind of
4/4
vibe.
time.
Our heads bobbing, our shoulders are moving. We're more upper body movers, but they're a lot more of rhythmic stepping and drums and cadences and patterns. So while we are, our stuff is more in our cerebral, they're more spiritual. So I think it directly correlates to the music, which why, it makes sense that everybody wants to sample from and get a little bit of it in their music these days.
Yeah, I think well, I mean, I just wondered because it kind of almost feels like it seeped into the music without, and I looked up and all of a sudden everyone's on this Afro beats. But yeah, I guess you could see the similarities and the differences.
And
It's
we,
just like
that's
in the
not what we
dance.
were pushing during that transition time. We were pushing the drill rap, the mumble rap, the slut rap, the slut R&B, that type of transition we were going through at that time.
Slut rap. Yeah, or ratchet rap, as
That's
some
your rap,
people
yeah.
call it. Yeah, and it turns out, actually, I digress, but it turns out Amber Rose is on a Wiz Khalifa song, so I guess she is a rapper.
Here we go. That's all it takes, right?
You just need one set of bars on your ex's album,
You just
and
need
there you are.
one Spotify credit, and guess what?
Sure.
You too can be a rapper.
Shoot, then I'm a rapper too.
Like Jobs, I'm telling you.
Somehow, I don't think they're going to be inviting me to speak at the RNC. Okay, so we're going to take a little break from the Republican National Convention, which will be airing again on TV tonight. And I'm thinking of starting a service if Trump does win, where I can just get his speeches and I'll read them to you so you don't have to listen to his voice. Because I don't know if I can take another 4 years of that. But that said, we visited Kenya, we visited Tanzania, and we left off in our recap. We were still in Kenya, right? We went to one school, we went to the sort of mainstream middle class, more African middle class, which would be more like a working class school. We went to the Boma and sampled the culture and the cultural review of different ethnic groups. We interviewed the king and had tea with the king. And then we went to the Hood, Kibera, what they call a slum of 1 million people, a vast shanty town. Probably something like you may not have seen unless you've traveled to another country. I've seen a lot of poverty here in the U.S., but I've never seen a vast shanty town like that.
Yeah, that was big. The amount of people that was the overwhelming part. It wasn't the people of the community. It was how large it was and how deep into it we had to drive into to get where we were at. The uneven roads, the one-way streets, the
very narrow
streets. You know what I mean? So yeah, it really showed how deep it really runs for real.
And then we walk up a huge hill to go to this tiny little community school. And we talked yesterday about your kind of encounter with one young man who was feeling like a hater, who kind of tried to call out your hood or whatever. And then the incident we had with somebody going off of our charitable giving plan and doing something on their own, which created another situation that had to be that Uchenna skillfully and deftly averted. But the majority of the interaction, I think, was really positive. We did leave a water tank there, which will change their day-to-day functioning for all the kids in that school. We did give school supplies, books, and other items that they could use. And I feel like it was eye-opening for the children, but also for us. It was like an exchange. It wasn't just that they benefited from us. I think we also benefited from that encounter with them.
Yeah, and I think I'm not sure how often they get visitors of our sorts, but I highly doubt it's a 40+ member tour coming to greet and meet you of Americans, mainly Black Americans, coming as one large group to something like that. So yeah, I have to check on it, but I do think that might be the biggest group they might have seen in a long time, if ever, coming to that type of school in that situation.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Because even the member of parliament, the MP that collaborated with us, because that school is in his district, he wasn't expecting 46. He thought it was going to be 8 or 10 of us.
Right.
And he was pretty keeled over to see 46 of us piling out of that bus. But there was also the parts that weren't like the big presentation of the gifts or whatever. There were a lot of little smaller encounters. People going into classrooms, you interviewing one young rap artist, myself having a sidebar conversation with some young girls about their futures that I think touch us and them in a more personal way.
Yeah, and I think that's the beauty of what we got to do, Dominique. We were able to do that while everybody else, like I said, once again, was on their touristy trip. You know, they may get their interactions as well, but we really got to hunker down and make real solid individual interactions and, you know, memories for some of these young cats. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't perfect. It was never supposed to be perfect. It is, you know, a third, quote unquote, third world country. It's Kenya. It's the slums. It's the bottom of the bottom where we're at. But we were able to do that. And I think, yeah, we hit that bullseye a few times, every school we went to, I think.
And honestly, since we're talking about the bottom of the bottoms, I mean, Kenya is also a very corporate big city.
Yep.
It's a banking center. There are tall buildings. There are wealthy Kenyans and middle class Kenyans. Part of what that revolt around Parliament was middle class and working class, but also some of the wealthy trying to bounce back from COVID. And now you're imposing all these insane taxes on food and items that aren't typically, you know, subject to that. So I just want to put that in context because I know a lot of folks who haven't traveled to Africa think poverty and they think country.
Yeah.
Nairobi is not just that.
Well, Nairobi's a huge city. Huge city. Real tall city. Very tall city. They got the university there.
Malls.
Malls, music scene. Yeah, no, it's a thriving city. It may not be as technologically advanced or metropolis as we may look at it as being, but yeah, no, it's a very tall, very orchestrated, very functional city for sure.
Yeah, you're going to see skyscrapers, and the constant conversation is that most people can't afford to actually live in Nairobi. They live on the outskirts.
Right.
They live in their version of, you know, Pomona or the Valley or you know, Carson or whatever, because the city itself, the main part of Nairobi is banks and finance and a lot of tall buildings and government.
Yep.
So just to put it in context. And what did we do next after we left?
Well, also, before you get too far there, I also wanted to put out there for people that the cost of living relative to where we are here in California and LA is extremely low.
Yeah.
Extremely low. The shillings make it look different because of the conversion rate, but it's extremely low. They were telling me real nice penthouse, 2-bed, 2-bath loft in one of the real nice brand newer apartments. Probably about $250 a month, all things included.
That's $250.
Yeah, $250 US
yeah.
dollars.
Yeah.
So I mean, it may not be ideal because once again we do have the different water systems out there. You know what I mean? I saw a lot of larger buildings and stuff with these bigger water, like we deliver water tanks. They have water tanks attached to the hotels on the roofs and stuff like that. So
yeah, the infrastructure is not the same. I mean, I'm skipping a little ahead, but the first time I went to Zanzibar in 2018, they were offering apartments for $40 a month. And I was like, oh, I need to just get a place here. Yeah. But then, you know, you look at the electrical system and the water system and everything, and okay, maybe I don't want the $40 apartment.
Right.
Maybe I need to go top of the line because of my U.S., pampered lifestyle that what I'm used to. But yeah. So when we come forward, we'll keep it moving. We're going to take you, even though we took you with us, we're going to take you with us play by play right now. And any questions, commentary, or conversation, I'd love to hear it. Molly Bell says, so if this wasn't just a tourist trip, she says, thanks, let's go home to Africa, tea or coffee in Africa, shanty town, so it wasn't just a visit. Y'all should be anointed ambassadors from their extended family.
Hello.
We'll take it. You're listening to KBLA, unapologetically global, KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley.
Just a few short months ago, California Attorney General Rob Bonta filed 11 felony charges against Diana Taran, an assistant district attorney for Los Angeles County. The charges allege that Taran unlawfully accessed confidential computer data, including police officer files in 2018, and continued to use them after joining the DA's office in 2021. Ironically, Taran, who is now on administrative leave, oversaw the Public Integrity Division responsible for handling high-profile cases of police misconduct and public corruption, including the charges brought against LA City Council member Karen Price last June. To be sure, the case against Price has raised plenty of eyebrows. Indeed, one noted legal scholar has said publicly, and I quote, "Everything about this prosecution reeks," close quote. Could AG Bonta, with aspirations to become California governor, be punishing Taran for her role in DA George Gascon's police accountability agenda to curry favor with police unions? Could DA Gascon be using the case against Price to showcase his tough stance on crime and political corruption as he vies to retain his seat as DA? Honestly, I have no idea, but here's what I know for sure. Karen Price has been elected and re-elected by thousands of voters, mostly black and brown, who stand to be further disenfranchised if this matter is not handled correctly, which is why it matters to us at KBLA Talk 1580. When the prosecutor is being prosecuted, it seems to me that at the very least, there ought to be a thorough, top-to-bottom, independent review of all cases under Diana Taran's purview to ensure that none of these cases have been tainted. Justice and fundamental fairness demand no less, if public trust truly matters. And I hope it does. For KBLA Talk 1580, I'm Tavis Smiley. We welcome your feedback.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out.
Oh, Downy in the rinse straight.
Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes 100% of odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh boy. Okay, there's a lot going on around here. So actually, I'm looking at our itinerary, and as far as what I can see, we're kind of on day 3, still day 3 of our trip, and we will continue our conversation. But we've got Ira from LA. Hi, Ira.
Good morning, Dominique. I appreciate you taking my call. Yeah, I'm distrustful of you and many black women like you, especially that Dr. Molina character. I'm an old guy. It used to be black.
Are you an old black guy?
One. I'm an old, big, bald black guy.
Okay, got it.
And we used to be a one community, black men and women. We were a family. But recently, black women have started to diverge. They're moving in different directions. We're competitors now. And a lot of you, I sense there's a different wind blowing. With Dr. Molina, I think she's got a lot of Marxist money behind her. And that's a horrible thing.
What is Marxist money? And when you say women like me, what are women like me?
Normally single women they seem to be professionally successful, but the backing, what's made them successful was affirmative action, DEI, CRT, all these things that have bedeviled our society and lowered us. That's why we're not.
How is that? I mean, I would be proud of it if affirmative action made me successful, but give me an example of how that's true, because honestly, I'm not aware of it. What
just for
DEI,
example,
what affirmative action have I received that has made me successful?
well, not for nothing. I mean, I'm sure when you started your career, you were a reasonably attractive young light-skinned lady. In a lot of black circles, we like that sort of thing.
Okay, but
So we
what does
will
that have to
elevate
do with
that sort of
affirmative
thing.
action? That's the DNA lottery. I mean, thank you for
Well,
saying
remember what?
reasonably attractive, I guess. Yes,
Well,
I am light-skinned, and there is an
remember
element of light-skin privilege under white supremacy. I acknowledge that. But you said DEI affirmative action, so where is that?
No, and there's no such thing as white supremacy. No man
You're
is
but
supreme to
you're
me
okay.
unless
Okay, that's fine. We can
there's no
argue
such thing.
about how, the theory of white supremacy, the system of white supremacy, whether you agree with the title or not. You know what I'm talking about. But
I do.
you're making assumptions about me, and you don't have any data to support it. So I need
I
to
do.
know where that's coming from. Okay, well, share it then, Ira.
I have lived experiences. Affirmative action was set up for black men initially.
Men and
White
women,
understood
black
that
men and women.
it was initially for black men because in those days, black men and men, period, owned and controlled the businesses in the family. So it was set to help black men gain parity with white men. White men
Okay.
discovered it was a
So,
great
but
way
you're
to
talking,
divide
you
and
came
conquer.
on here saying you don't trust me or Melina Abdullah. You made
Yeah, I
some
don't.
wild
You
accusation
guys are
about
poverty
Marxist
stamp.
money, which is, based.
You're poverty
So
stamp.
you're throwing things out there, and fine, you can call my radio show because I'm not scared like Bill O'Reilly and others. I'm not scared of people that hate me, but you got to come with
I
data.
don't
You
hate
just,
you.
well, you just said you don't trust me, and I'm some crazy wind blowing that is against black men, even though I gave birth to one
Yeah,
and married
yeah,
one, and
yeah.
have
You're the
supported
Candace
and helped
Owens type.
many,
I
many,
know
many, many. What kind of type?
you're a Candace Owens type. I know who you are. You're one
Candace
of these
Owens is
types.
the opposite of me. She's a
That
conservative who's
hard.
married to a white man. I'm a progressive who married and divorced a black man.
Oh, he wasn't black. He was Hispanic.
He's blacker than you.
No, he's not. Hardly.
Have you met him?
I don't. I have not met him, but I have worked with someone who's worked with him.
Okay, what does that have to do with anything? He's a black man. Yes, he's Cuban, but he's Afro-Cuban. I mean, if I married a Latino, y'all like to pretend like I married a Mexican. I would be proud of that, but that's not what happened. He's more Sidney Poitier than Ricky Ricardo, okay?
In your mind,
Next,
maybe. In your
in
mind, not
anybody's
his.
mind. It's all about phenotype. So, because race is a made-up concept, it's based on how you look. So, it's in anybody's mind. But go ahead. So, I married a black Cuban, so you have a problem with that. We're not.
No,
We're
I
no
don't have a
longer
problem.
married, but okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
Next,
I
next
don't have a problem.
assumption.
I don't have a
No,
problem.
you're calling here attacking me, but you don't have
You're
any
such a
data.
bully. You're
I'm
such a bully. You
I'm
won't
a
even let me
bully.
speak.
It's my
Yeah, you're
show.
attacking me around.
I'm
You won't
letting
let me
you
speak.
attack me on my show, which is something no other talk show host would do. And you're calling me a bully because I demand data when you make assumptions about me.
I'm just calling you and that like that congresswoman from South Los Angeles. You guys are simply the new generation of poverty pimps. You take the pain that black people feel and you profit from
Okay.
it.
And
It's
and
a
what are you
sad
doing
reality.
to? I'm profiting from black pain. Well, my profit is pretty slim. I should probably go into a different business. But Ira, what are you doing to help black people or poor people?
I had a black family. I raised
So did I.
6 black kids that I put through college, that I started in professional
Okay.
careers.
I don't have 6, but I'm
When I
doing the
got-
same. Uh-huh.
When I got divorced from a black woman years ago, she stole my business. She stole my money.
Oh,
through the
so
white
you're
court
bitter
system.
because your baby mama took your business and you're taking it out on me and Melina. Okay, now it all
No,
makes sense.
She didn't take it. The white court system stole it. They sucked all the money out of it and left her
Well,
with
if you
nothing.
guys would have been
And-
able
and
to be practicing, adult dissolution of relationships, you probably could have avoided the white court system and made your own deal. I know that happens to a lot of people, but don't be mad at me, Ira, because things didn't go right for you in court.
That's a black female's problem. That's why we're delineating. That's why I was glad to hear last night in RNC all the great black guys getting up and speaking
Okay.
our part.
Got
We're
it.
going to take it back to the family. We're
Okay.
going to take it back
All
to
right.
the way
Thank you, Ira. Go ahead and land for me. So if to me, if you think I'm a bully, you're a punk. That's all I can say about that.
Hey, all I can say is life was best for black people under segregation, and we're headed back to that. We're never going to get back to that high point, but things were better for blacks during segregation.
Under segregation and when women didn't have rights, apparently.
No, women had rights. They were just family rights. You had rights within the family. You couldn't go out and have 10 kids by 7 different guys. You couldn't.
But men could and did.
But we built society doing that. Sure, we have multiple baby mamas, but they were able to be a chip off the old block. They got financing from that. You don't get financing from being a baby mama.
Well, Amber Rose does, but I mean, I guess it depends on what you mean by financing and what you mean by baby mama. Well, Ira, I feel kind of sad because we were on this beautiful journey through Kenya, heading to Zanzibar, and you kind of brought us right back to the Republican National Committee. I assume you're voting for Trump?
No, I'm not voting for it. There's nothing in it for black people in politics. If you don't have money in a politician's pocket, your vote doesn't matter.
What's in it for you? What's in it for you or for black people calling here and attacking me? What does that help?
By letting it be known that you guys are simply using black people. That's all. You're not benefiting black people with your programs.
It's too bad you don't know what the heck you're talking about when it comes to Black Lives Matter, because you clearly haven't done the work, because there is receipts, there is evidence, and you can see it every month when they do their organizing meeting of the very many ways that they are concretely helping black people, from scholarships to money to standing behind families to getting justice for those who have been murdered. They are doing concrete things. So if you're saying that, you're obviously talking out of the side of your neck without evidence. And that's where I have a problem. Even if I disagree with you, come with the facts, Ira. Don't just come with drivel. All right, it's KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network. President Biden is canceling events while he recovers from COVID-19. Biden tested positive for the virus in Las Vegas, Nevada yesterday and was forced to cancel an afternoon speech to a Latino civil rights group. The president was reportedly experiencing mild COVID symptoms, and he has returned to Delaware, where he will self-isolate. Nearly 2 in 3 black women are behind President Biden. A new survey from The Cut shows that 64% of black women said they'd vote for the Biden-Harris ticket if the election were held today. It's a demographic crucial for Biden to win to stay in the White House. The poll was taken in early June before the Biden-Trump debate and before President Trump's assassination attempt. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Looking for a better way to get around LA? SoCal 511 gives you real-time traffic alerts to help you find faster ways around LA County. It's free and helps motorists easily find fast track and roadside assistance services. Visit SoCal511.com or dial 511 on your phone.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Bronny James finally had a productive game for the Lakers rookie team. LeBron's son had 12 points Wednesday night in the Lakers' 1-point win over Atlanta in the NBA Summer League in Las Vegas. Bronny also sank his first three-pointer in Summer League play after going 0 for 15. The Lakers play Cleveland tonight at 6, live coverage on ESPN. Indiana Fever rookie Caitlin Clark set a WNBA single-game record with 19 assists in the Fever's loss to Dallas. The previous record was 18. Tiger Woods tees off today in the British Open, one of the 4 majors on the PGA Tour. Woods hasn't won a major since the Masters in 2019. 3 of the 15 majors Woods has won have come at the British Open. At the moment, Woods just wants to make the cut and take his chances later in the final 2 rounds. Woods failed to make the cut in his last 2 tournaments, the PGA Championships and the U.S. Open. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
When you turn to the Employment Development Department, we'll help you get there. Whether it's support for you and your family while you find a new job, or the resources to focus on your recovery after illness or injury, we can help you move forward. From support while you bond with your newborn, to helping serve your family while your partner serves our country. Your EDD. We'll help you get there. For more information, visit edd.ca.gov.
Hey, LA, it's time to step up and be a climate change hero. Go Metro and help us shape a better future for all Angelinos. From enhancing our diverse communities to preserving our planet, Metro is dedicated to making a positive impact with every ride. Start your journey at metro.net.
Ooh, I'm so ready for this weekend away with my girls.
Hey, hit the road? How about some free gas?
Free gas? How?
Try new Febreze car for some serious freshness and you can win gas for a full year. Visit Febreze.com to learn more.
Say less.
You may not win, but you're gonna have a fresh smelling whip.
Thanks, DJ Fresh. Now how about some music?
Hey, yo, this next one goes out to new Febreze car for giving you a chance to win free gas.
La 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 la.
No purchase necessary. Must be 18 to enter in 73124 for rules and how to enter. Visit Febreze.com.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000.
Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief took care of Eric's problem.
And now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077.
Optima Tax Relief.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
Okay, I guess it's scholarly match today is me. Wow. All right. So since we kind of diverged, we'll swoop back to Africa. I do want to point out to Amin, who called earlier, who says that Trump has no Muslim blood on his hands, that the anti-Muslim sentiment that has been whipped up by the MAGA folks caused them to recently, actually 2 days ago, boo a conservative Sikh speaker who was on their own agenda saying a prayer and send hate messages to her. That the murder of Wadea Al-Fayoum, a 6-year-old Palestinian-American boy, by a MAGA supporting man, a landlord, is attributable, at least in part, to the environment of hate that has been fostered by Donald Trump. The murder of 3 young Palestinian students in Vermont last year. One, actually only one of them was murdered. One survived. Those 3 were shot. That's a hate crime. The skyrocketing of hate crimes against black people and Muslims in this country is at least partially attributable to Donald J. Trump and the whole MAGA new Confederate movement. So I don't think it's quite true when you say that this former president, 45, has no Muslim blood on his hands. Oh, man. Okay, this is a tough pivot going from the MAGA, the rabid MAGA talking points. But here's my pivot, Miles. And I'm not even being funny. When last year when we traveled to Africa, when we went to Zimbabwe and South Africa, it was really on my mind. If I were to flee the U.S., if things got too crazy, right?
Yeah.
Where would I go? And it's, more than likely it would be Africa. And there are so many different countries and so many beautiful places. And how would I make a living and all of that stuff? And I do ponder that. Earlier this week was Assata Shakur's, I think, 77th birthday. She's been hiding out in Cuba for decades.
Right.
And, I'm team stay and fight. I'm not saying I'm going to do that, but certainly there are plenty of places in the world, and particularly in Africa, where you could have a very different life than you have here.
Right. Definitely. I haven't traveled enough of Africa to have more than the places we've been. But man, Zanzibar, ooh.
I know.
Ooh. Like, Kenya's cool. Kenya was cool. I loved being in Kenya. I'm definitely a city person, so I think that's why I felt more at home in Kenya for sure.
Right. You connected with Ami, the veggie man, in the studio, and met rappers and students, young people.
Mm-hmm. And there's a true city flow to it. Like, people that come to the city from the country, they realize, like, now I'm more of a country person.
Right.
And I understand that now for sure. Because I went somewhere, and the first thing I did was connect with the city over anything. But man, Zanzibar, ooh.
I know. We didn't go all the way through Kenya, but we can skip ahead to Zanzibar. I went there in 2018, fell in love, really wanted to go there again, and we did go there again. But since I went there, it's been discovered.
Yeah.
It's been discovered, and I hope y'all don't ruin it.
It's crazy, like, I know it's bigger because when I say Zanzibar, a lot of people are like, you know what I mean? Like, they've heard about it or seen it before. So I'm like, okay, I got it. You're definitely catching on. So
right. So, and Essence has an article a couple days ago. Michael Vick and wife Kijafa enjoy much-needed vacation in Zanzibar.
Mm-hmm.
Spending quality time on the serene beaches, but also in the village with the locals.
Yep. Go ahead, black folk. Get out there, Mike Vick.
Yeah. So it's a thing now. Yeah. But tell me why you loved it so much.
Honestly, I felt alive. I really felt alive out there in a lot of different ways. I felt, it's clean air, so much greenery out there. So many trees, fresh off the water. It was fresh air everywhere. It was crystal clean water on the beaches. Starfish on the beach. The sand was different on the beach. It wasn't, the Venice Beach sand. It was like clear, chunky, coral reef type sand. You know what I mean? The spice farm, so many fresh spices and herbs and fresh ginger, and the kids getting this fresh turmeric out the roots, and coconuts and fresh fish from out the, it was just, everything was it felt like it was giving you life. Definitely was life-giving, you know? So yeah, like, in more ways, good sunlight, great people that are happy to see you. And on top of that, the prices weren't really that much more than what Kenya was.
Yeah, it was a tourist town, but tourist town prices East Africa style,
Exactly.
not tourist town prices, not even tourist town prices Mexico style.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, no, like, it felt real peaceful. Once again, another city area as well, like Stone Town. It was a nice little amount of motion over there, but it just felt good. Like, just being there felt good physically.
Yeah, it's really a magical place for me. It's the history. You've got obviously the Bantu, African, history and culture, and then it's flavored with little hints of this Indian and Arab and all of these other folks that have been there, because Zanzibar was a crossroads, not just for the slave trade, which clearly it was, but also for the spice trade.
Yeah.
Right? People coming for the food and the delicacies, and now, for the white beaches and the beautiful, serene. I can see why, celebrities, they said Beyonce was there, I'm sure. Michael Vick used to be my pretend boyfriend, but look at his family. He's got such a beautiful family. So
what could it be?
No, we're not going there. Congratulations to them. I mean, they look like a happy family. But my point is, like, I can see why people who are hounded by media would go there.
Yeah, of course.
Because you're not going to find TMZ at the Zanzibar airport.
Exactly. No, you're not. And yeah, like I said, the history of it is incredible too. The amount of truth hidden over there. The slave museum was was a real high intense moment for not just for me. You've been there as well, your first time going, but we had a whole sit down the next morning with our travelers about the slave museum and everything.
A tearful, fired up sit down, because it's a whole side of our enslavement that we're not exposed to. Africa has two coasts, east and west. East, the enslaved went towards the east. They went towards the Arab world. West, they came over here, right? And throughout the Caribbean. So it's a whole history. And it's funny, I'm thinking of Amin who called us earlier defending Trump's position with Muslims. And Zanzibar is a Muslim country.
Yeah, yes,
or region. I guess it's an autonomous region within the country of Tanzania.
Yeah, yes it is. Yes it is. Which was a big noticeable change from Kenya, which was a big Christian town, big Christian city. I'm not gonna say which Jesus was everywhere, but one of the shades of Jesus was everywhere in Kenya, and not so much in Zanzibar. And you see the difference for sure.
Yeah, and Zanzibar.
Besides that big church that they have right in the middle of the slave museum and the Stone Town, but
because you do have missionaries everywhere throughout Africa, Christian missionaries.
Right.
And in the case of Zanzibar, it was the sultans who came from the Arab world who actually brought the Muslim religion to East Africa, and it took root. But I also think it's interesting the way, they're very devout. You see people's heads covered. You don't see people wearing short shorts and all that stuff. You don't see a lot of booties out and stuff like that. But
they even said at the hotel, watch how you dress around the hotel, going to the pool. Make sure you cover it up as much as you can. Make sure you're not wearing this or that.
Right, once you leave the area of the exact pool.
Yep.
And on the beaches, you'll see, we even saw when we were out on the Kenwa Beach, which was so beautiful, a flock of little, tween Muslim girls with their hijabs on, playing sports out on the beach. So it was just devout. It didn't feel like judgmental or like people were trying to restrict you or tell you what to do. They were practicing their faith.
I mean, we're in the hotel and we're hearing throughout the city speakers of them waking up for prayer time.
The calls to prayer,
so it's not just one or two people. That's something that's part of the environment there.
Yeah, it's call to prayer morning and evening. And the vast majority, but they do have Hindus there. They do have Christians there. They do have people that practice indigenous African religions, and nobody is tripping. Everybody's living, coexisting peacefully with their own interpretation of their faith, and I just love that so much.
Yeah, definitely, and that's the thing too, man. I'm come from Vegas, which is a melting pot of cultures. That's another reason why I kind of felt at home as well.
In Zanzibar,
a whole melting pot of religious cultures, and we have that here in the States as well, but not at that extreme of a level. I think over there it's there's still a stigma here about Muslims for a lot of people, a lot of Christians.
Yeah, and I think if there was a town where you heard the Muslim calls to prayer over the loudspeakers morning and evening every day, here some Christians would be offended by that.
Exactly.
Some others would be offended by that. There it's not an issue.
Right.
That's what they're doing. I'm over here doing my Hindu thing, and the Hindu holidays are national holidays, just as the Muslim holidays are in Zanzibar, even though they only have 2% Hindu. So to me, it's giving we all respect each other and make space for each other. We're not trying to recruit or judge one another.
I'm laughing thinking about hearing the call to prayer in Fairfax or something. You know what I mean?
Right. It would be a problem.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So to me, that's a mindset that I wish we could learn from over here. We're chopping it up. You're invited in 800-920-1580. We interrupt this program to bring you some vitriol from the RNC. Just kidding. We're in Zanzibar now. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Hey LA. Today I'm here to talk to you about Grid Alternatives, which is a nonprofit in LA that focuses on renewable energy. We serve communities who have been left out of the renewable energy sector. We offer paid job training, and in 13 weeks, you can become a solar installer. 80% of our graduates get hired into the industry, and once you're hired in the industry, you stop at a high, medium income. That could be $20 an hour or more. 80% of our graduates get hired into the industry. Call today so you don't be left out at 323-861-0105 or gridalternatives.org, gridalternatives.org.
Always night pads are designed for a perfect night's sleep, so you can do your bear hugging a pillow thing, your free falling starfish thing, your burritoed in a blanket with the AC blasting thing. While Always night pads with rapid dry do there, we've got your back with fast absorbency and up to 10 hours of protection thing. So while your period's doing its own thing, Always lets you do your sleep thing. Shop for Always in-store or online, wherever you get your pads.
Oh, man. Looks like Bobby needs a ride to the airport again.
Grab the keys. Who's taking Auntie and her friends to the swap meet? Grab the keys.
How about we, drop these boxes off at Miss Johnson?
Grab the keys.
Whether you're giving rides or hauling gear, you're all about getting things done. So do it all in a Chevy SUV. From the versatile Equinox and sporty Blazer to the roomy Traverse, our lineup of SUVs will carry you through every adventure. All you have to do is...
grab the keys.
That's how we do. Head to your local Chevy dealer, where well-qualified buyers get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Malibu, Colorado, Blazer, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Traverse limited models. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 15.8%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 7/1/24.
In California, the use of man-made stone is causing workers to get silicosis. Silicosis is a fatal disease caused by breathing in silica dust from cutting, polishing, or grinding man-made stone. To prevent silicosis, employers must provide their workers proper equipment, including water systems and NIOSH-approved respirators. Stop dusty and deadly practices. Learn more at worksafewithsilica.org. This is a message from Cal OSHA.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Wow, we learned so much on this show. I did not know. Ricky Smith says Zanzibar is a great song by Earth, Wind, and Fire on the Open Our Eyes album. Did not know. So I guess they were... Head to the Sky album. Oh, okay. I guess they were up on Zanzibar before I was.
We're late to the party.
Yeah, apparently so.
To Michael Vick.
Okay, well, he's real late. They just came. But it's just amazing how many things can come up on Zanzibar now. It's trendy. If you can go before they ruin it, go. They're struggling to protect their coral reefs, as we talked about. There's a story, this is a story from March. 9 people died and 78 people went to the hospital after eating sea turtle meat out on Pemba Island. But it's supposed to be protected species. Well, I guess that's one way to protect it. It can be deadly. Then Silicon Zanzibar, we talked about that when we were there. They were trying to make it into a tech hub. They lost one of their companies, the big companies that was there, but they're still trying to have that to balance out the tourism piece. It was a company called Wasoko, which is Africa's biggest e-commerce company. They left Zanzibar, but apparently that's still part of what they're doing. Marriott International just signed an agreement this year to build Le Méridien in Zanzibar.
Okay, so they're on the way.
Yeah, fancy magazine called Hot Living says it's like Bali but better. Why everyone's investing in Zanzibar.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
they're on the way, y'all.
Yeah. And apparently, I don't watch as much reality TV as I probably could or should, but apparently on Love Island, the lovers went to Sheikh Mohammed and Tanya Manhenga went to Zanzibar to try to patch things up.
Okay.
Didn't
I'm looking
work
at
out.
the cast of Love Island right now. They're really on the way, y'all. They're on the way for real. Man.
Yeah, I mean, these particular folks were black, but yeah, they went to a dreamy getaway to Tanzania. And yeah. So yeah, I mean, go while kind of like international gentrification. Go while it's still black.
Yeah. We got to go back soon, Dominique. We got to go back soon.
Yeah, the white sandy beach that we went to, the day we went, there was hardly anyone there. Apparently, there's a New Year's Eve party there that happens every year that has like 5,000 young people on that beach partying.
Okay.
But
Kenya, the one we're at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was a beautiful beach. The day we were there, we had it mostly to ourselves.
Yeah.
But I walked, because I'm always trying to get my steps in, I walked further down the beach, and there was like a separation line where you go to some of the fancier private hotels. And when you crossed over that separation line, everybody was white.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Even though we're in Africa.
Right. And that's probably the only place we really saw a collection of white people, though.
Yeah. It was at a high-end, all-inclusive kind of resort right there that I would guess wasn't there last time I went in 2018. And when I crossed in and walked through that part of the beach, it was all Europeans. So, yeah.
And in their place.
Yeah, I got a DM from Link, who went with us, him and his wife and her sister went with us in 2018, reminding me Freddie Mercury was born there.
Yes.
Freddie Mercury of Queen. Of course, they have a museum to him.
Yes, we were supposed to go and scheduled to go. We didn't end up going, me and you, that day, but they did have a tour to the Freddie Mercury Museum. Yeah.
Yeah, and some folks went on their own. We went last time. It's cute. They don't talk about that, but again, indicative of the large number of Indian people, East Indian people, that live on Zanzibar and have for 100 years probably, maybe more.
Yeah. Wish we could have got a chance to go see it though. Yeah.
Well, when you go back, Miles.
When we go back,
we were over there, and I really want to thank Charles Stith and the Stith family here in Los Angeles for connecting with us with such incredible people. Charles Stith, of course, former ambassador to Tanzania.
Right.
And then him and his wife are residents of South Los Angeles. And he has a company now. I got to meet with his daughter, Mimi Stith. You heard that interview if you missed it. It's available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. All of our stuff is up on YouTube. And they just connected us with so many wonderful people, including Amina Karume, who with her hotel, which was just dazzling and really exciting, we started... I'm not going to reveal, but we started talking about some projects we might be doing in Zanzibar. So stay tuned because you might be invited.
Speaking of Mimi, though, it was great to see Americans and what Americans would be doing over there, how to make a lifestyle and a living over there, the comfortability over there, the receptiveness over there. So
the good life. Yeah, I mean, as a black woman, American woman, educated here. In some of the top schools in the country. Mimi Stith is now CEO of an international corporation operating out of Tanzania, and she does receive the respect and the latitude that she needs to get the job done.
Yes, she does. And she's well connected, and she's meeting people, and it's growing every day. So
living what they say, living our best life.
I think she said she's like, I don't want to come back home. She's here.
Yeah, and of course she invited us to a beautiful spot to interview her as well. So it's just a reminder. Yes, we did. We saw the bottoms, and we dealt with regular day-to-day hardship, but we also saw the good life, or how the elite live, or the possibilities of wealth and abundance.
And we haven't even got to the safari yet.
I know.
We didn't say nothing about the elephants and the...
I know. We don't have to do that probably next week, unless you want to do a minute on safari right now, Miles.
I say do it next week. Give them more. A little cliffhanger.
Yeah, because we went on more than one safari.
Yep.
And we went on safaris and we had some pretty interesting experiences, I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, look, tap in with me all the time. We're at KBLA 1580 on all social media platforms, and I like to talk to you during the day when we're not on the air. Also, I'll say that we are doing our Freedman Friday again tomorrow. We're back live. And I'm really excited to be talking to a senator. She's a Cape Verdean American, but she's Massachusetts senator for their 2nd district. And she is on the Massachusetts Reparations Task Force. Now, California was the pioneer, but more states are putting in place reparations task force. More cities are putting in place commissions and studies. And so we will meet Liz Miranda, who is a state senator there in Massachusetts, and she is working on reparations in that state. So keeping the momentum going, keeping the conversation going. Our Freedman Fridays is every Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we are having a comprehensive reparations conversation, keeping the momentum going, keeping ourselves up to date so we can be part of all of the victories that are coming our way and that continue to come our way in this space. Okay, I forgot to pull a quote, so I'm going to go to my go-to, my favorite from Kwame Nkrumah while we're in Africa. And it's also the antidote to Make America Great Again. He says, "Forward ever, backward never." Tavis Smiley's up next. He's got an amazing lineup for you. Of course, we'll be suffering our way through the RNC tomorrow, and we will talk about it after Freedman Friday. Trump is making a speech. I'm Dominique DiPrima. History's Now, and we are making it together. Until tomorrow, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network. President Biden is canceling events while he recovers from COVID-19. Biden tested positive for the virus in Las Vegas, Nevada yesterday and was forced to cancel an afternoon speech to a Latino civil rights group. The president was reportedly experiencing mild COVID symptoms, and he has returned to Delaware, where he will self-isolate. Nearly 2 in 3 black women are behind President Biden. A new survey from The Cut shows that 64% of black women said they'd vote for the Biden-Harris ticket if the election were held today. It's a demographic crucial for Biden to win to stay in the White House. The poll was taken in early June before the Biden-Trump debate and before President Trump's assassination attempt. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Looking for a better way to get around LA? SoCal 511 gives you real-time traffic alerts to help